Hello, this is Benjamin with ARI, your website company. And the point of this training will be to establish all of the basics that you need to get your L5 site up and running. First, we'll start off with the Locations tab. We'll go into our left-hand menu, we'll hover over Store, and we'll scroll on down to Locations. The Locations tab is very important to establish basic information on the site. Some of this would include your address, your business name, contact information, online appointment scheduling, and a few other important things like that. The three tabs you will want to ensure are correctly typed in are Details, Sales and Lead Management, and Online Scheduling. Details, as you can see, is nothing more than your business name, address, and general location information down below. The second area that we're going to jump into is Sales and Lead Management. Over to the left, it lists out every single form that your customer can fill out on the site. Currently, the only one receiving the completed Contact Us form, automated email notifications coming from the site is the individual that's currently in the primary email address. However, you can include as many extra individuals as you like simply by typing their emails down in the CC field that you see down below. Make sure that you follow our example formatting when doing so to ensure that this will work correctly. And finally, you have online scheduling. If at some point you would like to give your customers the ability to schedule a service or repair appointment directly from the services page on your site, you could go through and check the active box up top. Otherwise, if you don't use this service, their only option for a customer is to come see you in person, give you a call on the phone, or fill out the very basic request scheduling form that will be on the services page of your site by default. Next, let's talk about configuring your staff page. This will hide underneath the structured content area. We'll go into structured content and then your second option down marked staff. When configuring your staff page, you have several options. You can go in and tell the staff member's name. You can give them a short bio. And of course, you can also include a basic picture. Now you will want to organize these by departments. Pretty easy to define. For instance, let's click on New Department. And for this new department, let's name this department Service. Actually, let's go with Service Team. And you will want to go down and select your site. Whether your site is in the build phase or is the final domain, you will want to either choose your temporary or final domain in the owner area, group description, service and repair team, and then you can start to list your employees. First, go to Employees List, go over to the right, click on New Employee. We'll put in our employee's name. So let's go with Oscar de la Hoya. And of course, we have to have an email in there. And a phone number, a direct phone number, title and position. Let's go with lead welding and fabrication. And then of course, you could put in their bio. Now, the only required fields that are in here would be the employee name. If you don't want to put anything beyond that, you certainly don't have to. In addition to all this information, you can, of course, add in an image using your image browser uploader that you would use for anything like adding in inventory units or anything like that, or putting a picture on one of your paragraph pages. Simply click on Add Image, and you could use the file browser to add in an image. Next, we'll talk about finalizing inventory units. We'll go into Products, and our second option down, Inventory Manager. Now, depending on the setup of your site, you may be finalizing units here in the CMS editor, or you may be finalizing units in your separate, standalone inventory management software. We'll go ahead and go down. Let's go down. We've got a Can-Am Commander. We'll go over to the right. As you can see, it has a status of new, meaning that this information is only here in the editor and not yet on your site. If it was a complete unit with no missing information and no errors and was currently here in the editor and on your site, it would read off as a green tag of no issues. To finalize the unit is very simple. Go to the right of the year, make, model information, click on Edit, and simply fill in any of the missing information before saving and publishing. Now you have two options. You have create a new unit inventory item. This will create the first unique occurrence of that item. Or if you have added this in and it is simply adding additional information to an existing unit in the system, you can go to Associate to Existing Unit Inventory Item. We're going to go ahead and create a new one. Select. Now we'll go ahead and run through this. We've got industry, power sports, manufacturer, Can-Am, equipment type. I believe this is a side-by-side. Style, side-by-side, year 2019, and then we get into the link to. The link to is what pulls in all of the original manufacturer specifications and features. It also pulls in a few stock photos from our database that, if you so choose, you can use to represent the unit on your site. And this is the Commander Max XT 1000R right there. Stock number and VIN are not required to display the unit on the site, but if you have them, I highly suggest that you type them in. Display and showcase. If you select this, not only will this unit display on your dedicated inventory pages, but it'll also display in the new models area in a very specific area as well. As you can see, I have my dedicated inventory page here, but I also have the primary navigation point or the parent navigation that we can click on to get to the new models page. If you have that box checked that says display in showcase, it will display on the in stock half of the button underneath the corresponding brand. We'll jump back to your editor. Location is simply the location of where that unit is currently physically sitting. Unless you have multiple locations, you really won't have to worry about this. However, if you do have multiple locations, before you add in your first unit or finalize any of your units, ensure that all of your locations are listed. Otherwise, you could run into some serious issues in the future. Use different address location. If you have a unit that you are selling as a brokerage, in other words, selling this unit for a third party, whether that be a dealer that simply doesn't have the capacity to sell it currently, or a private individual, and you want to list it at a different address, you can click on the checkbox and have all the required fields to do so. In the upper right-hand corner, we have title and condition, which are both required. Color and trim color are optional. New and used, required. This one is from 2019, so we'll state it as used. Usage unit is simply saying what measurement of use is on this unit. The three that you'll have to choose from in this dropdown are hours, miles, and kilometers. And if your unit uses multiple of those measurements or none of them, you can always go click on Add New to put in your own custom. But for today, we'll go with miles. We'll say that this unit currently has 10,465 miles on it. Base price. If you'd like to type in a price down in this grayed out field here, you would select web price. And of course, if you are nervous to list a price, you can select from one of the many other labels here. I'm going to go for call for price. Best price. This is primarily used for brand new units. In some circumstances, it can be used for used units as well. Essentially, if Can-Am sends you a brand new unit and tells you directly that you cannot list a unit on the site for anything less than MSRP, but you want to sell the unit for less, type in your MSRP in this gray line after in base price selecting web price. Then the best price field can be filled in with the lower price that you actually sell for in store. Adding a value to the best price field will generate a best price button on the unit's listing. When your customer clicks on it, it asks them for their name and email. When they fill out that short form and hit submit, it sends them in a private, immediate email with that lower price in it. Destination charge is any charge that you would incur in getting the unit from the manufacturer to your location that you'd like to pass on to the customer. Description is where you'll type in any notes about previous damage to the unit, any custom modifications from the last owner, and any factory extras you might be including, such as off-season cover, specialty trailer to haul this unit in inclement weather, complimentary replacement fluids, upgrades, and of course any rider gear that you may put as part of a package. Once you've got all the required fields filled in here, this is all that would be required to actually post the unit to the site. If you left it as this, it would post to the site with all of the stock images in place. Now, if you do wish to add in your own images, you can go into Manage Images and add them there. But for today, we'll just click Save. And now that that is saved, we'll click on the name of our business and run the Publish Changes to take all of our series of saved changes and push the unit over onto the site so the listing can be created. And there is our success stamp. Now, to make sure that that unit made it onto our site, let's go ahead and copy this model information. We'll jump over to our website. Back to our home page is a way of refreshing the entire website. As soon as it has completely refreshed, all we have to do is act like a customer and search for that model information. If the system is working correctly, this unit should show up as the somewhere in the first 6 units on the results page. And there it is right up top. Now, for whatever reason, the stock pictures did not work, but that's not a big deal. You have in stock, call for price, the correct amount of miles, and if we click on View Details, you can see underneath where the images would be, you have all those specs and features. And just as a quick note, any description or details that you put in the description box on the bottom of the very first page, the Added Edit Model and Details, will appear above the description with its own big bold title that will say Dealer Notes and Insight. Next, we'll talk about dealing with internal leads. For that, you can go into Leads, and if you're simply looking to look for emails that are incoming, you can go into Leads, and if you are using our legacy order system, you can go into Orders. For now, let's just go into Leads. Now, a vast majority of you will have a third-party email system that will be set up to deal with your leads, either a domain-based email system that we set up for you, or you could be using something like Gmail, Yahoo, or one of those. Commonly, I refer to this internal leads area as an emergency backup. In other words, if that third-party email system that you're using goes down for some reason, you still have the ability to view your leads here, as well as respond to them in plain text. You do not have the capability in this internal lead system of doing any image, video, audio, or anything like that. It is basic black text and doesn't allow for HTML. But we believe in having emergency backups for almost everything in our systems, and this is one such area. Next, we'll talk about going in and creating a page from scratch. Now, you may find that on your site, the stock pages that we gave you simply aren't cutting it. You need to make a custom page for describing some of your more popular repair services that you have, posting your own day-to-day newsletter or blog, or many other options that you have. With a custom page, the options are truly endless. Let's go through the basics. So first we'll go into Site and into Pages. This will bring you a list of all the current pages on your site that currently have a written paragraph on them. Above the list, the button that we're going to be clicking on today is a large green button that says New Page. Excuse me, Add Page. We'll click on Add Page. First thing you need to do when adding a page is make sure that you change the actual page name. So let's go down and do that first. Let's call this page Common Repairs. And we'll go ahead and move that down again. We will copy and paste. And copy and paste down to page file name as well. We'll go ahead and attempt to save. Okay, so the reason that it's giving this error is because when it goes from regular text to an HTML title tag, there is no spaces in there. So we'll go ahead and remove the spaces, and the same goes for the page file name as well. Now let's try this again. And it seems that it wants us to hand type this information. So we'll go through and hand type the information in each area. And now that we've typed it, hand typed it in each area, it should like it. We'll hit save. Perfect. Now, just so you wonder what this is, HTML title tag text is going to be if you were to link to this page on your site. Before someone clicks that particular object, there will be a small box that appears in your lower left-hand corner telling you before you click on the link what page that is going to link to. That is your HTML title tag. Page file name is actually what will display in your address or URL bar above the page. So this one, in this case, will be your website, then / common repairs. Moving further down the page, you have meta description and meta keywords. Now these are already in a pre-optimized state. Trust me when I say this is not all of the information that is there. However, our pre-optimized data is a close-guarded secret, so you will not actually be able to see it. Can you go in and actually put in your own custom meta description and keywords? Yes. You simply move over to custom. Just know that if you do go over to custom, it is at your own risk. We'll go ahead and click on Add New Asset. Now, why are we doing this? Without an asset, you can't actually display any pictures, text, links, or anything on this page. So we'll go ahead and click on Add New Asset. Now think of this asset as the bucket that holds all of your content for that page. Again, we're going to go ahead and call this asset Common Repairs, as not to confuse anything. Type we are going to leave as Custom Asset. Active simply means that once we are done saving and publishing here, if you were to type in the address on the site, that it would in fact appear. If this was a page that you only want to show temporarily, maybe it is a temporary announcement that you'll be closed between 2 certain dates or some other flyer you have that only is valid between certain dates, you could hit the start date and end date. And essentially, it will pull it from being active on the site. It will remain here in the editor in case, again, at the same time next year you wanted to run that again. In order to save the asset, we do have to have some kind of text in here. So we'll just type in my favorite message. And let's go over the absolute basic tools that you would want to use in here. If you need to either link a picture or a piece of text in here, you would simply highlight that picture or text and then click on Insert Link. And it allows you to type in or copy and paste the specific page address or URL that you want that object to link to. Let's say that you need to insert a picture. Right next to it is the media browser. This will allow you to upload any images from your computer that you like. Let's say that you wanted to insert a Vimeo or YouTube video. You can click on Insert Video and again either type in or copy and paste that address in here. And where your cursor is placed when you go to insert a picture or a video is where that object will appear on the page. Something that can be handy for organization is using one of our tables. If you're looking to create a uniform formatting that goes all the way down a page, when formatting something like a rental page or an e-commerce page, or you simply want to have nice equal spacing moving down a page, the table can be an incredibly useful formatting tool. And then of course around these you have all of your typical tools like align, ordering list, unordered list with just bullet points, change your font, change your text color, all of the basics. Now in order to view this on the site, we'll go ahead and hit save, and then we'll go ahead and publish. Excellent. Now we'll jump onto our site. In our top address bar, we're going to type / common repairs and hit enter. And it should come up with that page. And there it is, common repairs. Now you can see the page title right up here. And of course you can see that information coming soon where you would have your videos, your text, whatever it may be. Fairly simple. Now obviously you would want to add a link either in the primary navigation that you see up here or in one of the large CTAs or offers that you see here. Just in case you aren't familiar with the terminology, CTA simply stands for call to action. In other words, it's a button that is screaming at your customer through the screen, please click here, and drawing their attention in. Speaking of offers, let's go how to edit these sliding offers that you see here, these sliding, rotating advertisements that you see here. And on your site, it will most likely, but not always, be somewhere towards the top of your homepage. We'll jump back to your editor. We'll go into store. We'll go into site and into offers. The maximum number of offers you can have in this area is 10. Based on studies that we have done, we recommend somewhere between 3 to 5. If you need to delete one of these offers out of here, it's just a matter of unchecking the box next to the offer's title. And because there is no save button on this page, you'll simply go in, click on the name of your business, and run that publish changes to go ahead and remove it from the site. There are 3 different types of promotions that you can add in here. You have factory promotions, which are updated on a regular basis with the newest financing deals and sales from the manufacturers that you have listed on your site. If you can't find what you're looking for underneath factory promotions, we have pre-designed offers, which are generic offers that we make in-house at ARI in case you want to draw attention to a unit, a type of equipment, or a service that you offer that wasn't featured in the factory promotions. Now, if you can't find what you're looking for in either one of these libraries, you can jump into the custom offer library and design your own custom offer completely from scratch. For today, we'll only be covering the first 2. First, let's jump into factory promotions. Now we have quite a few that are in here from the brands that I support on my site. It says that from Husqvarna, we have a crazy amount of 8 offers available. We'll click on Husqvarna, and let's go with the military and first responder. We'll click on Add to Offer Queue. By default, this will be added in as the very last offer in the order. But of course, if you wanted to move that to the top, you could simply click, drag, and drop. Now, a lot of people tell me, you know what, Ben, I don't have time to come in here once a week and put in these promotions manually. Is there any way to automate the process? Yes. We'll go into factory promotions and we'll go all the way over to the right to our last tab that states automatic. You would first click enabled and then select the display limit. This simply means the number of offers in here that you want to be automatically replaced every single time a new offer comes out from the manufacturers that you are licensed to sell. And then you'd go ahead and hit save. Now I've already done this. You can see that you have the automatic factory promotions block in here. Now I'm not actually allowed to see those offers, preview those offers here because they are changed at a regular interval, but there it is. Now, let's say that you're on your homepage of your site and you're like, you know what? I don't like where this Toro one leads to. When someone clicks on this, I don't want it to lead to the brand new Toros. I want it to lead to the used Toros that I have in my inventory. Sure. Click on the title. You can change the title. Where the actual offer links to on the site can be controlled by replacing the URL that's in here. The timeline, now by default, if you were to add in anything other than a factory promotion, the run indefinitely would be checked. But because there is a specific time frame by which this factory promotion runs, the beginning and end date are already in here. And on this end date, this offer will automatically be pulled off of your homepage. Title tag is simply when someone hovers over the image on your site before actually clicking on it, will be some text that pops up in a small yellow box. As you can see now, it says email right underneath my mouse. And then the alt tag is if you wish, when someone clicks on this, while that next page is loading, some simple text to display. The banner associations section no longer works, so do not use it. And then you can hit save offer. Pre-designed offer library offers a lot of generic offers that you can take a look at. I wasn't kidding. There are several hundred in here. There's lots of different ways in which you can find which one that you want. The absolute easiest way, and my recommendation, is to go all the way down to the last tab on the right and simply search by keyword. For instance, let's type in jet boat, and we'll hit search. And we can see that there are a few different jet boats that come up from this brand, Scarab. We'll hit close. That is pretty much all I have for you today. Those are the absolute basics. Obviously, if you need more training on any other areas, you can schedule another training by messaging your implementation specialist or account manager to get familiar with any of the other areas within the editor. There's also several different places in which you can get help for yourself. The first place in which you can get help would be the Help Center. Click here. You can see that there is the direct phone number for a large, fast responding tech support team, as well as their direct email. And the Help Center includes both step-by-step help articles with images, as well as in-depth video training tutorials as well. If you can't find a specific function within the editor, you don't know the naming convention that we use, clicking on the large question mark icon down here can be helpful. You can simply type in the functionality that you're looking for, and it will suggest either help articles or videos that you can take a look at to learn where it is in our editor and how it works. And finally, your last place in which you can get help would be Request Update. This is found only on the dashboard and in this right-hand column near the bottom. Request Update can only be used once your site has gone live. So if you ever get into the pickle of my site just went live, I need to make these changes and I either don't know how to do it or don't have time, or a mixture of the two, well, then you can go in and request update and request that our update team do it for you. That is all I have for you today, folks. Until I talk to all of you again, thank you for your very valuable time. And make sure to look at any of my other articles and videos within the Help Center. Thank you and have a good day.